My family thought I wasn't my mother's son, so they completely cut me off. Now they want to get back in touch. It all started with a fucking argument at a family reunion. My tío Javier, who's always been the family's unofficial patriarch since my abuelito died, made a comment that started it all. "Rodrigo, you don't even look like your mom. Are you sure you're even part of this family?" I laughed it off at first, thinking he was joking, but the look on his face and the silence that followed told me otherwise. My mama, Maria, looked uncomfortable, and my dad, Antonio, just stared at his plate. That was the moment everything changed. Tío Javier, fueled by his tequila and his usual bravado, started throwing around accusations. He claimed that my mama had an affair and that I was the result. I was fucking stunned. I had always been close to my family, especially my mama. Hearing this shit was like getting hit by a truck. My cousins, Rafael and Carmen, who I thought had my back, started to question my paternity too. Even my own sister, Isabella, kept her distance, looking at me like I was some kind of stranger. I couldn't believe it. It was like they all turned on me in an instant. It didn't take long for things to escalate. Within a week, they demanded a DNA test. I refused, feeling humiliated and betrayed. My mama begged me to do it, to prove everyone wrong, but I couldn't bring myself to. It felt like agreeing to it meant admitting there was a chance they were right. And then they cut me off, just like that. No phone calls, no texts, no invites to family events. They erased me from their lives, all because of a stupid accusation. Living in exile was a fucking nightmare. I was 24, fresh out of college, and suddenly without my support system. I had to figure shit out on my own. I moved to a shitty apartment in a different part of town, got a job at a local auto repair shop, and tried to build a new life. But the pain of losing my family was like a constant weight on my chest. My mama, bless her heart, tried to keep in touch. She would sneak out to see me, but it was never the same. She looked broken, caught between me and the rest of the family. It tore me apart to see her like that. One night, she came to my place, her eyes red from crying. "Rodrigo, please," she begged. "Take the test. Prove them wrong. I can't lose you." Seeing her like that was too much. I agreed to do the test, if only to give her some peace. We went to a clinic the next day and got it done. Then we waited. Those weeks felt like an eternity. When the results came in, I could barely bring myself to open the envelope. My hands were shaking as I ripped it open and read the words that would change everything. The test confirmed what I had always known in my heart. I was my mother's son. There was no doubt. I thought that would be the end of it, that my family would come crawling back with apologies. But they didn't. Instead, they accused me of faking the results, of tampering with the test. It was like nothing I did would ever be enough for them. I decided to fuck it. If my family didn't want me, I didn't need them. I started focusing on myself, making new friends, and building a new family with people who actually gave a shit about me. At the auto repair shop, I met Elena, a fiery redhead with a quick wit and a heart of gold. We hit it off immediately. She became my rock, helping me through the darkest times. She introduced me to her friends, who quickly became mine. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I belonged somewhere, but the past has a way of creeping back in. One day, out of the blue, I got a call from my mama. She sounded desperate. "Rodrigo, it's your abuela. She's sick. She doesn't have much time left. She wants to see you." My abuela, Rosa, had always been my favorite. She was the glue that held our family together. Hearing that she was sick hit me hard. Despite everything, I knew I had to see her. I went back to the family house, feeling like an outsider. The tension was thick, but I ignored it. My abuela needed me. She was lying in her bed, looking frail and tired, but her eyes lit up when she saw me. "Rodrigo," she whispered, her voice weak. "Mi niño, I'm so glad you're here." I sat by her side, holding her hand, tears streaming down my face. She didn't have much time left, and I wanted to make the most of it. We talked for hours, reminiscing about the good times. She gave me her blessing, telling me to live my life and be happy. After my abuela passed, things got ugly. The family gathered for the reading of her will, and tensions were high. I wasn't expecting anything, but I wanted to be there out of respect for her. Tio Javier, ever the asshole, started making snide comments again. I bet Rodrigo thinks he's getting something, even though he's not really one of us. I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up and my hands clenched into fists. You know what, Javier? Fuck you. I've had enough of your bullshit. You all turned your backs on me for no reason. I took the damn test, and it proved I am my mother's son. If you can't accept that, then to hell with all of you. The room went silent. My mama started crying, and my dad finally spoke up. Rodrigo, we were wrong. We let our doubts and fears destroy our family. Can you ever forgive us? It was a lot to take in. I felt a mix of anger, sadness, and relief. I don't know, I said honestly. You all hurt me so much. I don't know if I can ever trust you again. The days following the confrontation were tense. My family tried to reach out, but I kept my distance. I needed time to process everything. Elena was there for me, supporting me through it all. I was grateful for her. Slowly, I started to rebuild my relationship with my family. It wasn't easy, and it took a lot of work. We had long, painful conversations, and I demanded apologies from those who had wronged me. Some of them gave half-assed excuses, but others, like my sister Isabella, genuinely seemed remorseful. Rodrigo, I'm so sorry, Isabella said one evening. I was scared and confused, and I let that get the best of me. I hope we can move past this. It took time, but we started to heal. My mama was my biggest supporter, always reminding me that family is important, even when they're flawed. My dad and I had some tough talks, but we eventually found common ground. The biggest surprise came from my Tio Javier. He showed up at my apartment one day, looking defeated. Rodrigo, I fucked up. I let my pride and my stupidity tear our family apart. I'm sorry. Hearing those words from him was shocking. I didn't forgive him right away, but it was a start. Over time, we began to mend our relationship, though it would never be the same as it once was. Now, 2 years later, things are better. My family and I are in a better place, though the scars are still there. I've learned that family isn't just about blood. It's about the people who stand by you through thick and thin. Elena and her friends are my family now, and they've shown me what true loyalty and love look like. As for my biological family, we're still working on it. There are good days and bad days, but we're trying. And that's all I can ask for. So that's my story. It's been a hell of a ride, but I'm stronger for it. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, even if it means standing alone.